Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're wondering where I've been this whole time, wonder no more. Oh my gosh. This is Gester, my new dog.
You heard about Pluto? It's messed up, right?
I got him this summer from the shelter, so don't know what kind of dog he is. I just know he's a very good boy. He's almost 7 months old, and when he's not being a mischievous little rat, he is very sweet and he's very cuddly. As his ears grow, so does his power. Oh, okay. I'm going to sleep now. So basically, I'm just adding to the Amanda lore. Any facts about myself, I'm calling lore now, and I'm absolutely not using him to distract you from how long I've been gone. That's not why he's here. I just wanted him to meet everybody. Do you just want to go to sleep? Are you... Oh, okay. Good night then. I can't move. Sorry guys, the video's canceled. So now for the actual video. I didn't realize that I was like late on this until somebody the other day said that Christmas was in like 2.5 weeks. I did not realize that. I've been seeing a lot of gifting guides lately, some very well-meaning but misguided gift guides for foodies and chefs and hosts and stuff like that. Like, I think because some people don't know like what is actually useful in a kitchen, they just kind of like get whatever they think is like interesting or impressive. The fact that you think that I have $600 to spend on an espresso machine for my friend is hilarious. If my voice goes in and out during this, I'm really sorry. I'm on the tail end of a nasty cold and I can't control what's happening with my voice. If you're looking for a list of gifts for your foodie friends, for your chef friends, for your host friends, or if you're looking for ideas for yourself of things that you might want to ask for Christmas, I got you. I'm here for you. I'm pretty sure that all of these are under $100. Most of these are probably under $50. And a lot of these are items that are either on my wish list and things that I actually want or things that I have actually used or purchased in the past. So I can personally vouch for a lot of the stuff on here. And obviously I'm a pastry chef, not a savory chef. So some of my stuff is gonna lean more towards pastry, but I kind of did my best to make stuff kind of neutral across the board. So without further ado, here are some gift ideas for your foodie friends that they will actually use. I kind of split this list up into 3 sections. So the first section is kitchen tools and kitchen equipment and actually like usable things. The second section is like food adjacent, like maybe like there are other items, like extra items that I think are kind of cute or fun. And then the third section is cookbooks. Some of this stuff is kind of broad general ideas, but if they are specific items, I will link them down below for you guys. So the first section, like I said, is gonna be kitchen tools. One thing about if you have somebody in your life who's kind of like a serious chef who spends a lot of time in the kitchen, your kitchen tools are extremely personal. Some people have really specific needs in the kitchen and some people have really specific preferences. So one thing that I don't recommend you get your friends is a knife or knife sets. Knives are, in my experience, extremely personal from chef to chef. Everybody likes a different size, a different weight, especially once you get into the really expensive ones. I think it's gonna be hard for you to pick something that they will definitely like. Unless it's something they've specifically asked for, I would not run and go spend $500 on a new knife set for somebody who may not love it. But if they do love their knife set and they do have knives that they love already, one thing that you can get for them is stuff for knife maintenance. Good cutting boards. You can get them like a really nice wooden cutting board, or when I worked in kitchens, we used rubber cutting boards a lot because they're really easy to wash. A really good cutting board is gonna make your knives last so much longer. I found a really interesting article, I believe it was from Bon Appetit, that broke down the pros and cons of each type of cutting board and gave really good comprehensive recommendations, and it's honestly better than anything I could do, so I'm gonna link that down below. Bamboo and stuff like that will eventually dull your knife. So if you do a lot of heavy kitchen work, I wouldn't recommend a bamboo cutting board. Another thing for knife maintenance is a knife sharpener. You can get really cool tabletop knife sharpeners for like $10 or $15. If they are avid cooks and they do a lot of heavy knife work, you can invest in getting them a whetstone, which is just like a flat piece of stone that they glide their knife up against, and that sharpens their knife really, really, really well. And a whetstone will last like forever. In the same wheelhouse of like food prep, the next thing on my list is a mandolin. This is something that's on my personal wish list. So I don't have a specific one to recommend, but I can say that a mandolin, because by nature of what you do with them and how you use them, you hold them and then you put a lot of pressure on them to be able to slice. So I would recommend to not get one of the like cheaper handheld ones, because a mandolin, if you get a cheaper one, will not last long at all. The one that's on my list, I'll put it down below, but this is just the one that I'm asking for Christmas. It has a Japanese steel on it, and it has a knob on the bottom that you use to change the cut thickness, and it's something that's just gonna last a really long time. But I love a mandolin. I use one at work all the time. It is so nice and it saves me so much time. The next thing on my list is an immersion blender. I did not think that I was gonna use my immersion blender as much as I do, but I use my immersion blender all the time. It works great for like soups and sauces and like desserts sometimes, depending on what you're doing. If you're doing something like whipped. I made mashed potatoes with mine the other day because for some reason I don't have a potato masher, but I do have an immersion blender and it works so well. You can make mayonnaise with it. You can do so much stuff with it. I have a corded one, so it's not that expensive. I believe mine I got from the grocery store for like $20 or $30. KitchenAid makes one that's wireless, that's cordless, that you just have to charge the battery for. And I got that one for my mom one year and she loves it. So that's just one of those things that I feel like a lot of people won't maybe buy for themselves, but it's really, really useful. And it saves a dish for you to clean because you can just blend stuff right into the pot or right into the vessel that you're already in. You don't have to put something into the blender. So I really like my immersion blender and I would highly recommend it. Okay, so I have a couple of things on the list for people who are avid bread bakers. If they're still in their sourdough phase or if they just generally love making fresh bread at home, here's a couple of things that I think would be really helpful. A really nice gift would be bread baskets. It's like bread proofing baskets. They're called Bannetons. Basically, it's just like a nice little bamboo basket and they usually has a cloth on the inside. They come in different sizes. You can get one that's a round, that's a bowl, or you can get one that's like a longer shape. And those are just really nice to use. If they've never used one before, it will change their life. It's a really nice way to proof your bread without having to move it around too much. Another gift idea is a lam or a lam set. And a lam is usually when you have a razor on the end of a stick. That's pretty much it. And that's what you would use to score bread with. A really good lam and a really nice sharp razor is how you're gonna get those clean cuts and the beautiful scoring on the bread that you see. You can get some not too expensive lams pretty much anywhere. Usually the price comes from the handle and how nice the handle is and the quality of wood of the handle. Some handles are a little round, they look like coins, and the razor just sticks out the side. Some of them are long handles. So honestly, a lam is a good gift that would fit your any price like restraint that you have, because there are so many across the board. And the next thing on my list is something that it kind of falls into the bread category, but like not really. It's my Thermopen, and a Thermopen is a specific brand of kitchen thermometer. I think these are a great gift because they're a little expensive and like I would hesitate to buy one for myself, especially for like a thermometer, but I use one at work and I love it so much. I use it for everything. It's really super useful just generally to be able to read the internal temp of things. I use mine all the time for breads, custard dishes, panna cotta or creme brulee, cheesecake, something where like the temperature is super important for something to be able to set up. You can also use it to check the internal temperature of meats. Pretty much anything that you're cooking where the internal temperature is really important for either food safety and doneness or for something to be able to set up. I love my Thermopen. It gives me a really fast, a really accurate reading, so I cannot recommend that enough as a gift. The next thing on my list is, again, kind of pastry specific, but it's an Ateco Turntable. like a cake turntable. I love this one specifically because it is just 2 pieces. It's a base and then the turntable top specifically. It's extremely sturdy and heavy and it's not going anywhere. I can't accidentally budge it. And also because it's just 2 pieces and it's not plastic and it doesn't have like ball bearings in it to be able to move it, it moves so smoothly and I love it. It's a piece of equipment that will store really well, and if somebody makes a lot of cakes or they do a lot of things that they would need a turntable for, it's a really, really high quality turntable that they will have for a very long time. So the last thing on my list is something that could be really expensive depending on how you look at it. It is kind of a splurge item. It's one of the only things on here that's like kind of a lot, but I think it's a great gift, is a Dutch oven. And I'm not saying that you should go run to like Crusade and spend $450 on a Dutch oven, but there's a lot of places that sell really high quality Dutch ovens. I will pull some together and leave them in the description down below for some recommendations. There are a lot of places that sell Dutch ovens that are around $100 or less, and a Dutch oven is an extremely versatile piece of kitchen equipment that people on the savory or the sweet side use a lot. If you are looking to get somebody like a staple piece of kitchen equipment and you know they don't have a Dutch oven, I think a Dutch oven is a really, really great gift. Okay, so the next section is food. This is not a very long section, but it's food adjacent items. It's stuff that like is not actual kitchen equipment, but it's food adjacent. It's stuff that I thought was cute that I wanted to include here anyway, but it was not really in the same section. So the first thing is kind of like, you have to decide how you want to give this gift. You can either give it now and they can't use it for a while, or you can wait till next year, or you can give it to them for their birthday. Is homemade vanilla. Vanilla extract, for those of you who do not know, is literally made from extracting the flavor of vanilla bean pods into a base, and that base is typically alcohol. It's usually it's usually vodka. Some people use brandy or rum if they want a different kind of flavor, but it's typically vodka, and you really don't want to use a high quality vodka. Usually actually the lower shelf vodka you get, the better. It's better for extracting stuff. All you do is you buy vanilla bean pods, which can be expensive, so you can do this in smaller batches, or you know, it's just one big thing. You would leave it in a clear bottle, top it off with vodka, and then leave it in like a cool, dark place for 6 months, and then you want to go in and shake it every couple of weeks or every week or so. And 6 months from now, they would be able to use that vanilla. They would have vanilla extract. I think that some people maybe don't realize that all extracts you buy are alcohol based, because alcohol evaporates when you cook it or bake with it. If you are using vanilla in a cake or something, the alcohol evaporates out in the cake, so you're not actually consuming the alcohol. Whenever I see anybody make videos on vanilla, there's always concern of alcohol consumption, and people who don't consume alcohol for either religious reasons or social reasons or whatever. So that's like my little spiel on alcohol and vanilla, I guess. But it could be really fun to give them this gift. I know it's kind of a drag because they wouldn't be able to use it for 6 months, but then they would have really, really high quality vanilla to use. It's a cool little like interactive gift. The next thing is a spoon holder, like not like a crock where you like put utensils in, but something that they would keep on their stove for like if they're stirring something and then lay the spoon down on. I made my family a bunch of spoon holders last year when I moved. This is mine. It's a little strawberry. So if you want to make one, I think that that's really cool too. I made this little strawberry. It has like a rim on the edge, and then the rim on the bottom kind of it's like open on the front for you to lay your spoon on. I covered this in dishwasher safe Mod Podge. I wouldn't actually put this in the dishwasher, to be honest, because I think the clay like would not like that. But that doesn't mean that I can like wipe it off with a wet rag. But like a cute spoon holder is just like a nice little decorative thing if you want to buy one or if you want to make one. I made one for my little sister that looked like a peach, and my older sister has one that looks like an avocado, and that would be like a cute little like kitchen decor item. Another thing that you can make yourself or find on like Etsy or something is food themed coasters. I made these. This is an egg. I made these, I call them my toasters because they're pieces of toast. This one has butter on it. These are plain. This one's plain. This one has jelly on it. And then, like I said, this is an egg. I crocheted these. And I made a set for my older sister for her birthday one year, and I use them all the time. I think they're hilarious. This egg one is a very well loved. There's coffee stains on it. I need to make another one. And there's also people who make them out of clay or like they're ceramic. I've seen some people who have them, they look like pieces of like a burger or like a sandwich. And those are just, I think, really cute little things, like food themed things. Again, if you are kind of a crafty person, either of those gifts being so personal, I think would be really, really nice. And the next thing on this list is a windowsill garden. When I was in university, I loved being able to use fresh herbs in my cooking. I did not have a place for a garden, and so my mom gave me this windowsill kit that I will link down below. And basically you use wine bottles, and the garden part is essentially like a stopper. You fill the wine bottle up with water and you put the stopper in the top with the seeds, and the herbs just grow out the top. It's like a hydroponic garden. It's just water based. And I think the goal is eventually supposed to be that you do move it to a real garden, but I never did that. I just had basil on my windowsill forever, and it worked extremely well. Like, my basil plants were huge. I love being able to have fresh herbs and not necessarily having to go buy them all the time. So again, this is something that I personally use myself, and I loved it, and it worked really, really well for me. So I will link that down below. So the last section is cookbooks. Again, because I'm a pastry chef and not a savory chef, most of my cookbooks are baking and pastry cookbooks. So that's where most of our recommendations are. I will tell you some cookbooks that I really love and have especially been loving to use this year. Someone who likes sourdough baking or bread baking at all, I love this book. This is called Flour Power by Tara Jensen. I actually gifted this to a friend recently as well for their birthday. And this has a really good comprehensive guide on sourdough baking and fermentation. She has a bunch of different types of sourdough. If your friend is maybe tired of just making the same sourdough boule all the time, she has different types of sourdough and like rye sourdough and different types of loaves and different flavor loaves. But she also has other discard recipes in here, like crackers and muffins and cookies and tarts and stuff like that, and other things that you can use with your sourdough discard instead of just baking bread. So I love this book. I cannot recommend it enough. I think it's a great gift. This is another book that I recommend to people a lot as a gift. This is called A Good Bake. It's by Melissa Weller. This book was recommended to me by a coworker a couple years ago, and I got it and I love it. This is, first of all, has a lot of stuff in here. It's savory and sweet recipes, like baking recipes. She really breaks down the how and the why of everything. So if you have a pastry chef or baker in your life that is really interested in the science of baking and how to tweak things and why things happen and what to do when things go wrong or whatever, and like the how and the why, this is a great, great, great book to gift to them. It'll just unlock a whole new world of pastry for them. I think this is great for new bakers and for seasoned chefs. I think everybody should have this book in their library. And then two books that I don't own but that are on my list are Start Here by Sola El Whaley. Obviously, I love Sola El Whaley. I think she's an extremely talented chef, and I think her book is an extremely comprehensive cookbook on where to start, essentially, and kind of, you know, how to do everything that you need to know how to do in the kitchen. And another book on my list is More Than Cake by Natasha Pickowicz. Natasha Pickowicz is an extremely talented pastry chef. I've been following her for a really long time, and she published her book this year. I think it's an extremely beautiful, extremely personal and meaningful pastry book. I think any pastry chef would love to have this book, or anybody who likes to make cakes, or the person who makes stuff for friends or anything like that. I think they would really love this book. Another book that I don't have but I'm really interested in getting is Still We Rise by Erica Council, and this one is kind of niche because it's about biscuits, pretty much just biscuits. Erica Council is not only kind of walking you through this really specific chapter of baking and kind of making sure that you have this like really understood and really down pat, but the book is also an ode to the biscuits' roots and history in the hands of Black Southern Americans. and kind of how they shaped biscuits that we know and love today. It's a really interesting book to have and a really important one to have on your bookshelf. That was a lot of stuff. That was a lot of talking. There's a lot more talking than I've done the past couple of days, to be honest. But that was my list. It is by no means a fully comprehensive list. This is fully and completely biased. It's just things that me personally that I use on a daily basis, and my chef coworkers and chef friends, things that we use a lot too, things that I feel like you could give as a gift that the chefs and the foodies in your life would actually use and actually appreciate. Because again, a Ninja blender is a great gift, but I'm not shelling multiple hundreds of dollars out for a Ninja blender for somebody else. It's just not realistic. So I hope that you guys got some ideas from this video, again, either for yourself or for gifts for other people. And if you have any other ideas for gifts or anything else to share, please leave them down in the comments below. Again, anything that I mentioned that has a specific link or that is available online, I will leave it down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I usually upload and I'm usually uploading food videos and not videos of me just sitting here talking. I am a pastry chef and a published recipe developer, and I love sharing recipes with you guys, and I hope to share more with you guys in the new year. And I love you guys so much. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!